Thank you very much, Shabbat Shalom. Greetings to you all. Welcome to October. The fall is here. Remember that this Sabbath is not a regular Torah reading Sabbath. It is the Chol Ha'moed Oct, the intermediate days of the holiday of Sukkot. And intermediate days occur during this holiday and during Passover, and they cover the 2nd through the 6th days of the holiday. These are the days. This is when we in the Northeast all hope for an Indian summer. Some years we get it, some years we do not. Now, I hope you all got to enjoy that super blood moon the other night as we began the holiday of ingathering, the holiday of the booths. It is the full moon that is closest to the earth. What a celestial show that was, and what a great time for Jimmy to have had a birthday. I am sure it was a celebration had by all. And if there's nothing else in today's world that can remind you that there is a pattern to things and a greater meaning, well then, my friends, look to the celestial shows, look to the stars. One look and you have to know that there is certainly a greater power than ours at work. Hey, if it were up to us, or certainly if it were up to me, the planets would be like bumper cars. Now look around in your daily motion. We keep our faces and our gazes down. My friend Martin always referred to it as a Teutonic warmth. Just get on an elevator and look at where the crowd has their faces. Look up, my friends. There is so much to see. Well, I've walked 200 miles. Look me over. It's the end of the chase, and the moon is high. It won't matter who loves who. You love me, I love you, when the night comes falling from the sky. Well, my friends, we're in the midst of the Feast of Booths, the Feast of Tabernacles, Sukkot. It is one of the 3 mandated gathering festivals called for, the Shalosh Regalim. Now, during Sukkot, many build and live part of their lives in the sukkah, the booth in which you are supposed to eat your meals and even sleep in. Now, as I said before, this week is pretty nice, but some years, especially when the holiday is later in October, it is practically winter, and you wouldn't want to sleep there, let alone eat there. Now, don't forget the sukkah, or booth, represents many things. It is believed to be the little hut the wilderness generation would have lived in during the 40-year sojourn. It was the hut the workers lived in while harvesting during temple times, and it represented the cloud that descended around the tent of meeting during the wilderness wandering. Now, it is what it is. It is whatever you need it to be for you, for where you are in your life right now. You greet everyone by saying Chag Sameach, which means joyous or happy festival. Now, wouldn't it be nice if we didn't need a festival to feel joyous or to wish joy on your friends, your family, and your neighbors? And of all the great things that this holiday can be, I think its greatest is its call for guests to join you. Guests make things special. As the great poet Khalil Gibran said, if it were not for guests, all houses would be graves. Friends, the breaking of bread makes strangers friends, and friends family. And we're all part of one giant family. Granted, some we like more than others, but this is a great week to forget about differences and reach out to everyone you know and share a meal. Break bread together. Reach out to the Ushpizin, the guests, both real and spiritual. The spiritual guests called upon during the holiday each bring a moral characteristic for us to emulate and inculcate. Loving kindness, strength, splendor, glory, holiness, eternity, sovereignty. I encourage each of you to invite someone to dine with you as your Ushpizin, if not in your Sukkot, then in your home, sometime this week. Friends, it is your natural gift of big-heartedness to evoke understanding, which leads to compassion. Keep showing the world how big-hearted you actually are. Now, on each day of the holiday, it is mandatory to perform a waving ceremony with the 4 species. We shake the 4 species of plants, the arba minim, consisting of palm, myrtle, and willow, which make the lulav, together with the citron and the etrog. And I will remind you that they represent the characteristics of man. The etrog, which has both a pleasing taste and pleasant scent, represents people who have achieved knowledge of spiritual law. It just automatically perform good deeds. The palm branch, which produces tasty fruit but has no scent, represents they who have knowledge of the law but lack in performance. The myrtle leaf, which has a strong scent but no taste, represents those who perform good but actually have little knowledge of spiritual law. The willow, which has neither taste nor scent, represents those who have no knowledge of spiritual law and perform no good. Well, if you cannot be an etrog, governed by spiritual law and the power to do good, then be the myrtle. Regardless of your level of spiritual knowledge, open your heart and do good. You can always learn the law. We bring all four of these types together to remind us that every one of these people is important and that we must all be united. Now, each day of the holiday, we shake the lulav and etrog 3 times in each of 6 directions, immediately after reciting the blessing. And remember, you can go eastward, southward, westward, northward. Then facing east, you can go up and down. Or you can face east and extend the species southward, northward, eastward, upward, downward, westward. Cast them from you and draw them back like a fishing rod, bringing into your life and into your heart harmony, kindness, connection, discipline, perseverance, and submission, all contributing to your ability to create communication. So let us all grab our lulav and etrog, our 4 species, and recite the blessings. The basic daily blessing before waving is Baruch Atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al natilat lulav. Blessed are you, Lord our God, King of the universe, who has sanctified us with his commandments and has commanded us concerning the waving of the lulav. Now remember, all of these motions should be done slowly, deliberately, concentrating on the intentions, the kavanot of the act. Now the Torah portion read is not a regular parsha. It is a part of one. It is from Exodus 33:12, and it has great stuff in it. Moses makes the second set of tablets. Now don't forget, God made the first set, the ones Moses shattered, and he instructs Moses on what to write on the second set. We get the beginning of that fantastic Maimonides 13 attributes of God. Merciful and gracious God, slow to anger, abounding in kindness and faithfulness. God promises that his glory and his presence will go with the people, hence the cloud. And hence the belief in the booth as emblematic of the cloud. And as we sit in it, we sit in the comfort and glory of God. And how often do we ever really feel the presence, the glory, the comfort of God? This week, my friends, you can. Think of inviting guests, of sharing with those less fortunate. Think of the good that you have in your life and how you can contribute to making others' lives better. Bring in those awesome feelings of life. As Van Morrison's saying, when no one steps on my dreams, there'll be days like this. When people understand what I mean, there'll be days like this. When you ring out the changes of how everything is, what my mama told me, there'll be days like this. And let's take a minute to think of those less fortunate. Let's send some healing energy out to them. And let's do the Misha Berach, the one who blessed, the entreaty to God to bless those that need a healing. Karen and her kids, Abby and Matthew, Phil, who is still recovering from surgery, Wilson, struggling with a very rare and difficult disease. Think or call out those you know in need. Misha Berach, Avotenu, Makor HaBracha Imotenu. May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing. And let us say, Amen. Misha Berach Imotenu, Makor HaBracha Lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah, shlima, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit. And let us say, Amen. And friends, the holiday ends with a very exciting day. Simchat Torah, rejoicing with the instructions or rejoicing with the Torah. When the final verse of the Torah is read, and everyone, man, woman, and child, all get to dance around with the Torah, hence the rejoicing with the Torah. And is that immediately begun again to show the circular motion of knowledge and God, that which has no beginning, no middle, and no end. Well, thank you for joining me, my friends. We have shared a fantastic year. We have dined together in the sukkah and welcomed each other as guests. We have helped those in need. We've sent out a lot of love. We have loved together, prayed together, celebrated together. And it does not end. When I get to the bottom, I go back to the top of the slide where I stop and I turn and I go for a ride till I get to the bottom and I see you again. See you next week when we get to the bottom and go back to the top of the slide in the beginning. Shabbat Shalom.